Setting and maintaining healthy boundaries in the workplace is critical for creating a positive environment and for your overall well-being. Joining us now with how to set healthy boundaries in the workplace is the author of her upcoming book, The Highway to Health, Writing the Road to Better Boundaries, Anastasia Turchetta. It is so great to see you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
So let's talk about the importance of setting healthy boundaries, especially in the workplace.
It's so important. It's not just advantageous, it's indispensable for everyone involved because we need to foster respect. And when we do that, we foster a cohesion and cooperation among all our colleagues.
Yeah, and you and I had talked about this before, where I feel like at this particular juncture in my life, I have a great work-life balance, and it makes me a better employee for my employer.
It does. There's so many benefits to it when we're open-minded to it. So one of those would be reducing the risk of burnout. It also helps to boost productivity. It creates a sustainable work-life wellness. I don't like to say balance because there's really no balance, right? But it helps to foster that. And then when you're coming into work, then it also helps you understand we won't have miscommunications or unmet expectations.
Okay, so let's talk about examples of I statements that you can use when setting boundaries.
Yes, that's so important. Instead of just coming at somebody and going, you make me feel, or this workplace is. When you start to set and communicate boundaries, you want to do it with kindness, clarity, and assertiveness. So that starts with saying, I feel, I understand, I appreciate. Is when you start a sentence with that, you're basically preempting a sentence of what your boundaries are.
Now, what about setting boundaries when it comes to emails or chats or, you know, when you're going to respond to people at work?
It's so true. So there is what you can say and what you shouldn't say, right? So instead of coming at somebody by saying, hey, contact me anytime, it's all good, I got this, doesn't matter, I'll respond. People expect you to literally respond, right? And you know, as annoying as we can find that in our personal lives, imagine that when you're on 24/7 in your professional life. So what you could say is I make it a priority to check my email and response times during designated times of my workday. Or you could say, I can guarantee you a response within 24 hours of my workday.
Okay, so just don't throw, okay, you're not available 24/7, everyone, so don't put that out in the universe. All right, what about when you're dealing with office drama or gossip?
Wow, what not to say? You don't want to be like, oh, give me the deets. Can't wait to, you know, let's go in the corner.
Let's go dish.
Yeah, what happened this weekend? You know, so instead, you know, almost like an affirmation for yourself, use the I statement for yourself to say, you know what? I prioritize productivity and I'm going to avoid office drama and gossip.
Are you worried though? Like, I mean, somebody's like, oh man, nerd, she won't even gossip with me, but you can't get in the weeds, is what you're saying.
You cannot get into the weeds unless it involves you. Then I would say then clearly that's an HR type of a thing, but the more that you breed that negativity, it will impact your productivity.
It does. All right, when saying no to additional tasks, more than we can handle.
I love this one because everybody just feels like, I don't have time for this and let's just, you know, I'll handle it, just keep adding it to my plate, keep adding it to my plate. What I would suggest you do is just to say, you know what, I'm at full capacity on my task and workload right now, so I'm unable to take on any additional projects.
Okay. And again, we want to make sure that we're saying we're not giving you a license to be a slacker at work by any stretch of the imagination. These are tactics to have you performing at your best, at your fullest potential.
Absolutely. You're providing clarity, you're meeting expectations and communication. And when you are done and you've met, so say you've done your tasks, then you can help a colleague out with what's going on with them.
Okay, setting boundaries at the workplace is critically important. Any other advice that you want to leave our viewers with today?
You know, Gail, I just feel like it's one of those things where you sit back and it helps your professional integrity and it holds us accountable. So workplace boundaries are essential in our work environment.
Yeah, and I think, too, if you don't communicate them, the other person doesn't really know that they're overstepping them. So then you're the one that ends up frazzled, you know, like you said, maybe
depleted. Distractions are coming at you, and who's got the task ahead of them?
And then you end up looking like the one that doesn't have your act together, when really what you needed to do in the beginning is draw clear boundaries and let the other person understand why you can't do what they're asking you to do.
Absolutely, yes, and that creates a cohesive environment, which is where we all foster and grow.
All right, Anastasia, it's such a pleasure seeing you as always.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to share Anastasia's advice on BloomTampaBay.com.